Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 626. Today we'll be doing battle with the Ranger and Backpack Battles. And so, I know what's about to happen. Before I even hit the button, we're going to have an interesting start. So let's see the new ranked game, see what items turn up, see how quickly we can say it, and look at that. Interesting start, interesting start. And so, lots of big upgrades on turn 1 here. If we want to completely forego having any amount of stamina, we can make the shovel upgrade and then also make the torch upgrade. But I'm not a particularly huge fan of the shovel with the ranger. You can hit some high rolls to where, you know, food start popping up and stuff, and that's pretty agreeable, but it's not an item that I've been super stoked with. And so it is pretty interesting here in the sense that I think taking lump of coal garlic is a good deal. But there is also just the shovel out here. I think I'm going to just take the lump of coal garlic and take a roll. We have so much money left behind that the 8 gold there just doesn't really feel worth it. And now we have some pretty good upgrades, right? We have access to a whetstone, a short bow, not opposed to taking healing herbs, and then another item that's on sale. And so I think that that's the way that we'll look to take it here. Get as attacky as we can with the short bow and the whetstone. Pick up this on sale shiny shell. I don't want the upgrade. I just want the health boost for the round. And then there's nothing to lock up here. So not bad, right? We got 2 weapons. We got a little bit of sustain. We can definitely take down a lot of opponents here. Took this one down. Look at that. Look at that ranger shovel. It feels good to just talk trash about the shovel, get paired up against the shovel, and then just annihilate them. And so, good job us. And oh boy, we get the repeat, the throwback to the pyromancer badge, huh? We went pyromancer badge in our previous video, but couldn't find a pineapple the whole time and got beaten down that way. But you see it staring you down, you just got to take it, right? These things don't turn up that frequently, and so I'm going to go for it here, see if we can't get a little bit of vengeance for that pyromancer build that we did in the previous video. And then here we do need to keep our defenses up a little bit with this wooden buckler. And so as this next battle starts, if you didn't catch the previous video, the thing that we're going to be trying to do is building a flame whip. And so we're going to get these little, pyromancer goodies. We're going to make the flame whip. We're going to fuel the flame whip off of a pineapple, and then incidentally off of things like the wooden buckler. And then we're going to have a pet build to where the pets are all attacking at double speed and stuff. And so it's pretty nice. It's a build that I enjoy. We're going to have a good time with it here. And so let's get to it. Now this is an interesting bag set here in the sense that there's a spear, and I'm kind of interested in picking the spear up. It's just not super financially effective at this point. Like, we can sell the shiny shell lucky clover, or we could sell the short bow. I'm wanting to hang on to the short bows for a while if we can, so that we can get some opportunity to maybe make like the squirrel archers. It's not quite worth throwing away at this point. And so I think it might just be worth a lock on the spear. Well, let's just do this. Let's just go ahead and get it up and running. The other thing to kind of keep in mind is we could be looking for oh, the name is slipping me. Oh, we could be looking for hero swords to upgrade into burning sword. I'm not the hugest fan of going after that path. It doesn't scale nearly as well as the burning whip, but we do have a whetstone at this point. So if a whetstone turns up, we will want to keep it in mind that maybe we'll end up going after that sword as opposed to the whip. Just depends on how the items break. Alright, so what do we got here? I'm very interested in Smelly Wall. This is just one of the really high-powered early game skills that we can get. Slime Time I'm never a huge fan of, and then Mana Mastery, not worth it here in the early game. So let's take the on-sale Smelly Wall. We still have a garlic to go along with it. Definitely taking the Walrus Tusk to upgrade the wooden buckler. Want to get this sustain out of the banana as well. And let's just take a roll, see if a bag won't turn up. Ooh, just everything we want, huh? We got a bag, we got a garlic, Also, the lump of coal upgrades are pretty decent, and so very good stuff for the round. I think we just lock the garlic and the charcoal and then add the bag in. I'm fine to upgrade to Molten Spear, something that will sell off eventually, but it's pretty decent now. Get this banana online. Oh, we got to get our garlic in here as well. I'm just going to do this. Let's just get rid of the whetstone and go ahead and pick up the burning coal upgrade. I don't think we're going to end up with a burning sword this game. We need to find another whetstone and then need to find a short sword and then get the upgrades going and everything. I think our weapons are just strong enough as is, and we'll have plenty of time to come out and find a flame whip. Holy shit, that guy beat us down out of nowhere. How did we end up losing this one? He just doesn't even do anything. Just barely has a little bit of sustain. I don't know about that round. That was a strange one to be losing. It's all right though. We'll be upgrading pretty quickly from this point out. I think that we'll be okay. So let's pick up the garlic. Definitely want to add those in. Got our friendly bag here as well. Do want to pick up a goobert. The ideal goobert would be the chili cheese one. That's the one that I typically go for, but I'm not opposed if, say, like we go towards like a hero goobert, something that gives us a little bit of sustain. And so having him on sale is pretty nice. Let's see what we can do here, though. Our bags are starting to confuse me. I'm not like super worried about maximizing this molten spear. If we don't get to get a flame activation out of it, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. This is probably going to be our most efficient bag usage. Something in this space, and then we can like just have the garlic pointing across the goobert. Something like this could be reasonable, and then if we really want, we can put the flame out in front of the molten spear to pick up that little bit of shred. I don't think it's terrible. Okay. Battle on. I'm glad we picked up that shred as we run into the leather armor round. We should be pretty strong here. I don't think he does enough damage to counteract the garlic wall that we have. Okay, all right, the upgrades coming in, and so lots of very good things here between the fancy fencing rapier, the stamina sack, and the chili pepper. I'm gonna look to pick up all three. The fancy fencing is a little bit expensive for the turn, and so I'm just gonna lock it. But these other two, we definitely want to get, and so I think we can sell off a flame at this point. We're a few turns away from picking up those upgrades. Just be lazy about it and chili cheese goobert like this. Nah, we got the space out here, right? We can get the garlics operating a little bit better, and I like it. I like where we're at. We're in pretty good shape here, I think. Next round it is. And so yeah, the fancy fencing rapier. It seems like kind of an odd add here, but what we'll end up finding with this build is two separate things. Like the last video we did have a little bit of trouble spending all of our stamina. As you do have these builds that just generate a ton of buffs, you tend to be able to put one Wolfentinger in and then not worry about losing stamina for the rest of the round. And we should be able to do that here with the fancy fencing. If we hit one Wolfentinger as we're popping off, the stamina drain just doesn't happen. And then this is a big scaling weapon for us at this point, in the sense that it just grows and grows and grows and grows in the damage that it deals. And so I'm going to be glad to add this one in. We'll just sell off the burning torch. We're kind of done with that at this point. Now we can get our big boy weapons in here and ready to attack. Okay, so happy with that. Come back to having the garlics on board. Here we go. So yeah, we got our Chiefs shirt on. In the old man boomer moment, I'm going to talk about old man things for like the next 5 minutes, so you can skip ahead if you want. But it's the Chiefs play tonight. The Chiefs play the Saints on Monday Night Football. I've I've gotten into this great schedule of I wake up at like 4 or 5 in the morning whenever the baby gets up, and then I go to bed at 8 o'clock at night. And so it's a real pain point when these games start at 7:20 p.m. and I have to stay up and watch the Chiefs, and then suffer through the late night means. But it was interesting to me with the Chiefs against the Saints. The thing that comes to mind with me is the heat. It's very appropriate as we're out here going with this heat build. But the two notes I have with it are New Orleans, where the Saints plays absolutely miserable in the summer. They have the very same thing as Kansas City does, to where it'll be like 95 outside with 90% humidity, and then it just feels like 115 degrees, and like you just step outside and feel the wall of heat. Like you can literally feel the heat when you step outside, and it sucks. Like we went on vacation there in August once. It was fucking miserable in terms of heat. New Orleans was great. New Orleans was a great city, but the temperature was horrible. But the thing it always reminds me of, I love to say it every time I think about it, is it's baseball season now. The Royals finally making the playoffs after like a decade of missing out. But Ichiro, one of the Hall of Famers these days, as he was coming to America, his teammates taught him a joke, and Bob Costas has this interview you can find on YouTube. It's super grainy. It's from like 20 years ago, but they ask Ichiro the first thing that his American teammates taught him, and he says, "They taught me the joke." He says the joke is Kansas City in August is hotter than two rats and a wool sock fucking. It's like, that's good. That's good that the boys taught him that for the first thing to be repeating as soon as he makes it over here. But love it. It's good stuff of getting that little bit of history out there. But all right, let's jump back into this one. We're going for the pet build. Most certainly, we dominated that opponent in the last round with our fancy fencing. That felt pretty good. Going to be digging for that flame whip at this point. And what I mentioned in the previous video that I like to do is we're going to be looking for about 6 of these flames, right? We want to make the flame whip, we want to make a sun armor, we want to make a sun shield, and then we don't really need the flame badge anymore. We could potentially look to like upgrade a dragon or something. We'll see what all turns up in terms of how long we want to hang on to this flame badge, but we typically want it to have those 6 flames and then we're done with it. It's just a little bit early to make that decision right now, but definitely want the big bowl of treats. We're going to trigger all of these foods as much as we can. Here's our boy Wolpentinger if we want to go for that. It's a little bit early for it. These do tend to turn up pretty late throughout the game, so I'm going to skip over that one. Not opposed to taking a banana here, but I think at this point we need like another bag. We're looking for bags and pineapples. I think the banana can go. So we do find a bag. Perfect. On sale flute isn't a bad deal. Gives us a little bit of stamina sustain, a little bit of armor. Not terrible things here. I think that we'll take a lock on it, but we're not going to try and get it in the bag right now. So this should be a fairly straightforward set with the big bowl of treats. We can continue to get these activations off of the Molten Spear. I guess this is one we should be questioning here, is if we want to lock this holy armor. Just go ahead and make sure that we've got our armor in here early. I tend to forget about these way too frequently. I would rather find our important build-around items, but I think we're going to be strong here for quite a while with the fancy fencing, and we can just deal with this. And so let's do this. Let's actually pick up this holy armor coming into the next round. Ooh, Pandemonium's always scary to have to battle. We might be able to beat him up before the poison activations stack in. Fancy fencing's bringing the heat. Good deal. Good deal. All right, and so yeah, here's the remainder of our friends that we need. The Thorn Whip turning up. I think I would prefer to get the Thorn Whip online first. So I'm going to sell the Molten Spear, pick up the whip. We can fix these bags a little bit for the next round. It's gonna be a rearrange followed by another rearrange, but this looks okay. Need to get the second flame over here. Good deal. All right, should be good to go. I'm gonna say like it's a little greedy to just pass the turn with 9 gold. We could take one roll here. We can fit just like any rando food within. Ooh, that was a good roll. we're gonna spend all $8 now, huh? Pick up the fanny pack. Pick up the chili pepper. I'll be damned. Blessings abound. It's probably because we told our good Kansas City jokes, you know? That's what's up. That's what's up. Alright, up against the snakes and stuff. Looks like he's zinging us down pretty quick. I expect these Snecko builds to be a little bit grindier, but that magic dragon was really bringing the puffs, and then oh boy, managed to take that one down right at the end. I'm not certain how that came about. If we got a big crit with our fancy fencing, what was that? Look at this. We were down. Oh, we got just to a very close battle, and we popped it off right at the end. It's like we were sitting down here in no health land for forever. He couldn't fight through the garlic wall. LOL. That has to feel like a bummer. I would be mad if I was on the other side of that. Good stuff. And now this is a fairly interesting set with both the stoned and the shielded. I typically, take shielded as a first item, but not the second. You land on having a spiked shield. You take the shielded early so something happens, and it's better than just having a rando bad item. But it tends to not be that good late. It runs into trouble with just not having enough armors, or you build into OTK and don't really need them. But here, if we're going to have both the big shield and we're going to have the sun armor and the sun shield, it could be good. Otherwise, stoned is here. We're planning on having these garlics up and running the whole game. And so we should have armor most of the time. And so it's kind of tough here in the sense that if you're running against OTK builds or crit builds, you would rather have stoned. If you're running against sustained builds, you would rather have shielded. And I think we're just going to be better than the sustained builds, right? We're going to be generating all of this heat with the flame whip. And so I think that we can keep the flame whip and then just go for stone to get better at the builds that we're weak against. So we're going to add that in. Here, interested in the holy armor. Got to get the money to pay for it. That's fine, but I think that's where we want to be with that one. Now, need to rearrange these bags just a little bit to make our friends fit in here. Fancy fencing up top, flame whip in the middle. Now we can get our sun armor. Don't have the money for it, of course. Let's do this. Let's just go ahead and sell off the 2 flames. Man, maybe we should have sold off the spiked shield. It's not gonna fit in our bags. A bit awkward, but I think it's okay. We're in decent shape here. Our build is getting to be pretty strong. The only thing that sucks with this at this exact moment is we don't have a pineapple. So our only thorns generator is gonna be the big bowl of treats, especially with this spiked shield out of the bag. But I think we're getting pretty close to popping off with this. Probably going to lose this one, though. He has both Gingerbread Jerry and all of the heat stuff. He's going to scale better than we do. We don't have any buff steel. We don't have our big upgrades at this point. And then the flame thing hit us right at the end. But we're close to popping off. We're almost there. I think we're going to be in good shape. So let's see. Don't want any of that. Tempting to take the potion belt just to get the bag slots. I'm not excited about it, but we definitely need to make sure we get some bag slots before the round is over with. Just a very inefficient way to get them. Protective purse and is good. Acorn collar, I'm not the hugest fan of, right? We tend to drain out all of our luck with the fancy fencing, and so we can skip past it. Let's take one more roll while things are cheap. Nothing too spectacular here. I'm not opposed to heroic potion, but it's not the sustain we really want. I think I'm leaning towards just locking in this Shield of Valor, so that we have everything we need except pineapples and Wolpentingers, right? If we pick up this shield, then it's like for the remainder of the battle, all we should need to do is look to pick up, is look to come in and pick up pineapples and other food, right? We have the weapons, we have the armor. It's just a matter of finding those last couple of things for the build. Let's see, we've got that guy in here upgrading. Probably do something like this for the round. Alright, I dig it. Okay, let's see, you can get this. Oh shit. There we go, get that flipped around. Hit the button. Off we go. The big axe. These big axe builds tend to be pretty tough. At least he's only got the axe and not the busted blade. Let's see if we can take him down before it pops off. Fancy fencing's trying to do its thing. Fuck me. Damn it. That was so close. Oh shit, I meant to do the review. I think we were so close to winning that one, and then he survived it at 3. That's a bummer. But hopefully we can get this upgraded now. I'm gonna pick up the Shield of Valor. We can sell off the other shield at this point. We're 1 flame short of getting an upgrade here, which is a bit of a bummer, but hopefully get that upgraded on the next round. And now the little squirrels are starting to come in, just what we need to see. And so a lot of stuff in this one we actually want. I'm gonna pick up the squirrel. I'm going to pick up the other bag along with the pineapple. That gets us pretty well set to where this build wants to be. But for next turn, if we're going to add in, say, 3 for the pineapple, 4, 5 for the short bow, 6 hexes for the flame, we just need everything here, which would be 16 gold. A little bit short, but we could probably sell off a banana and then be in okay shape. I do worry about the stamina here a little bit, but like if we're going to be real, the single banana is not providing a ton of stamina. We really need to come in and find that Wolpentinger to get this guy up and running. So yeah, the stamina is completely out. Ideally, we would start draining out the food at that point, right? Even though our stamina is drained, the food's going to continue to do its thing. Didn't quite pan out there, but that's the idea at least. So let's see. We'll take the 4 slots. We'll pick up the pineapple. We could just sell the flame badge at this point, right? The only other pyromancer item I would like at this point is the thing that it upgrades dragons, and we're not going to have dragons at this point, so I think it's okay to just move away from this so that we can come in and afford this potion belt. So we'll get rid of that. Had to double check and make sure our second flame is down here. It is. That would have been a real bummer to go through this round and not have the flame, but it seems like we're okay there. Do we want to actually shift down towards the bottom? I think that'll let us get this banana back in. Want to get the pineapple up here towards the top. Get those good items in that way. Looks good to me. And then we're going to want to get the bow in here. Hopefully just one more round of the items not being super optimal here. Might have to go this way. I know we've got the hexes to get these garlics in here. Okay, that looks good. The garlics aren't on the big bowl of treats, but the smelly wall kind of falls off at this point anyways, right? Getting those little extra bonuses out of the garlic, while nice, isn't as super important as it was in the earlier rounds. All right. Gotta run against the bow guy before we get our bow blocks online. A bit of a bummer. Surviving out a little bit, but I don't think we're going to sustain through this one. Oh man, we might have if he didn't pull off that massive crit right at the end. He got like 100 damage crit right at the end of that to take us down. It seemed like we were going to sustain through that, but not quite the case. And so it's close. It's getting near the end. A bit of a worry that we're going to get out of this one with some LPs. And so, how can we get there? Right, we've got 2 rounds left at a maximum. One try to get 2 health left. I think picking up a banana is reasonable. If we come into a Wolpentinger in these upcoming rounds, then we can just sell it and move back. The Gen Lamp tends to be very important in these builds, giving you your big damage boost. You typically don't deal a ton of damage. It's just the Flame Whips hitting a whole bunch of times, and then the Gen Lamp is how you finish. I'm a little worried, though, we don't really have the tools you need to activate this thing. And so I'm looking towards probably just skipping past it, looking to pick up the potion belt to make sure we get more bag slots here. Although, I mean, if we're going to be real, there's only, like, we've got 3, 5, 7 slots left, and then 6 out of the stuff in our bag. Yeah, we probably need it. Okay. One more roll. What do we got? The Wolpentinger for next round, should he want to turn up. If we thought that we were going to go deep, if we're going to go the whole way, the Corrupted Crystal would be a reasonable pickup. I don't think that that's where we're going to be going, though. I still don't think that we can go into the later rounds with the build as we have it here. All right, let's see if we can't... These bags got to get cleaned up a little bit. Thought we were going to have better space up here at the top, but looks like that's going to be it. I think this is probably the way we need to organize the bag so that we get better usage out of the big bowl of treats. Come in something like this. We can kind of keep that banana out to the edge if we want to get more activations on the Squirrel Archer. Probably not that critical. We'll at least come over here and put him in put the Squirrel Archer in the Ranger bag so he gets those chances to crit. Got the Wolpentinger locked in. Alright, that's it. I mean, the build is here. Let's see if we can't take off in one of these rounds. Got here another ranged bro. Like we're falling short. Bummer. And so didn't get there at the end of the day. It's very close. It's again, this is kind of like the second game in a row that we've made a video going with these flame builds. This is, pretty close to being on point. I'm curious as to what the difference was from like last week to this week. Last week I was having pretty good success with this build every time, and then over the course of the past few videos, we've gotten to about the same point where we're at like -2 LP, getting close to the very end here. How did we finish? -1. And so it's not a huge loss, but we have everything that the build wants and everything that the build needs, right? We have the Holy Armor, the Sun Armor, we got the Flame Whip, we got a Pineapple to help fuel things. We were starting to get into that Ranger Archer thing, and then we should be in a spot to where we're just like slaying the opponent's buffs here, but it just keeps coming up a little bit short, and I'm not certain what I'm doing wrong here, in the sense that this is, this exact spot last week was doing good. This week it's not doing so good. And the what feels like the pain point might have been is using the Chili Goobert instead of using a Steel Goobert. Right, the Steel Goobert gets a little bit better sustain with those heal, or with the armor buildup, as opposed to getting heals. Right, if you look at the beginning of this battle, you get a big armor stack coming off of the Sun armor, and then you're getting all of these heals off the Chili Goobert that just don't do anything. Like, as some of these battles were getting kind of close, that could have been it, but I'm not exactly certain what the pain point was there. But nonetheless, it's still a fairly reasonable build. I'm glad that we did get to come out here and have the proper components turn up. I'm glad we do get to start showcasing the fancy fencing rapier a little bit, as I think that this is something that's really lacking in our Ranger game these days, is finding the builds that want to get the fancy fencing put in. And I think now that I harp on this more, the thing that probably cut us off was our stamina usage here. I'm pretty certain if we look at the log, we are going to be drained out on stamina for portions, maybe not. I thought that that's where we might struggle, but I don't think it's actually going to drain out. I was going to say that, maybe not picking up that Wolpentinger was the problem here, but we didn't drain out our stamina anywhere along the way. But nonetheless, a reasonable take. I think that we did decent with this build. I think it's right on point. We hit all the high notes that we were looking to hit. Just fell a little bit short at the end. And so, good stuff. I had fun with that. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. So if everyone enjoyed the video, hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way, and you had a good time watching. This is Bustin' We. Thank you for being here.